And so I finally...
And this came out of your story.
Yes,
So
it's a memoir.
It's a memoir. Okay, and then this looks like a very dark, lonely cover for this woman on the cover. So what was it that you went through exactly?
Well, I found myself in an affair in my church, actually, and lived a double life for over 2 years. Could not find my way out, not for lack of trying on my own, just could not stop. It became an addiction. So never knew you could be addicted to relationship or that situation.
Yeah,
but I fell.
Codependent attachment.
Yes, very
Yes, all of
codependent,
that.
which I had never heard that term, but I was a major codependent, played a big part into the whole reason I was susceptible to having an affair, but I had never heard of that term. So for me, I was raised very conservative in the church. I was raised Church of Christ, and so it was very black and white. These are the things you do, these are the things that you don't do. There wasn't ever a really good explanation of the why. You just didn't do those things. And so I prided myself that I was the girl next door, that even though my parents were divorced, I didn't drink, I didn't sleep around, I didn't do all the things I wasn't supposed to do, and I did all the things I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I felt very protected, especially after finding my first husband and getting married. We felt like we had arrived. You know, we're married. We didn't get pregnant before. You know, we don't drink, we don't do drugs. Let the blessings flow. You know, we love you, God. This is awesome. And just never, ever dreamed I would be divorced. Never in a million years dreamed I would cheat on my husband. My father had committed adultery on my mom. I knew the devastation that it caused. It was very interesting because I feel like every decision in my life, the major decisions, were very calculated to protect my family from the very thing that ended up happening to my family.
So then what was the fallout from, because this became public?
Yes, we came out with the truth, yes. Actually, the man that I was in the affair with and myself told our spouses on the same evening. And
which is your act of taking responsibility and repenting.
Yes, owning and just saying, hey, we are in a big mess here. We can't stop. We've tried. We don't know if we want to stop. We thought, you know, telling the truth would snap us out of that fantasy land. And it was devastating for me, especially because I felt like all of the blame fell to me as the woman. And I felt very shunned and cast out and labeled. There was really no help or no tools for a woman in adultery. The church that I was at, very, very wonderful people, I just feel like they didn't know what to do with us. So for us, the man was surrounded and his family, and then my husband at the time and I were kind of, you know, we'll be thinking about you, but not really plugging us in anywhere else or plugging us into couples that had been where we'd been. So we were like a fish out of water.
Right.
I remember my husband at the time just begging for help, begging someone to call and help me or elders, and there just really wasn't any outreach. It was shocking. And then for me, the sinner, what the devil does on the inside is basically, told you so. You know, hypocrites. They don't love you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your daughter. Our daughter had grown up there at that church. Now they know the real you. They don't love you. And even just mocking my faith, mocking that there was a God. There is no God. You have ruined everything. And it was so interesting because, speaking to condemnation, the same voice that enticed me into the sin, oh, just send an email. Oh, just flirt a little bit. It's not hurting anything. You would never do that. You know, oh, just kiss him. The same enticer became my accuser.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have done that. I mean, right on time. Shouldn't have done that. Ooh, look what you did. You are tainted. No one will ever love you. You know what? You might as well just end it because you've ruined your family's life. You've ruined your daughter. You've ruined yourself.
Oh my gosh.
You know, the church hates you.
Yeah.
You're never going to do any good ever again.
But somehow you didn't listen to all of that.
No, I didn't.
Because you,
praise God, I didn't.
You have this story of hope that you're telling.
Yes.
And then how did God come into that and help to heal you?
I had a strong conviction in my spirit, knowing that God was going to do something good with this. I didn't know how. I didn't know what it was going to be. I just knew that I knew good was going to come of this. And I know my God. I love my God. I know my heart. I'm not a perfect person, but I knew how much I loved my family. I think that's an important message, that when someone steps out or cheats, it doesn't mean they don't love their family or love their spouse.
Not
it means they're
necessarily.
hurting, not necessarily. In my case, it wasn't that way. And women that I mentor, many times, it's not that way. They are emotionally lacking in their relationship. So the emotional love meter is really low. And so they're very susceptible. And sometimes it comes out in shopping, and sometimes it comes out in eating, and sometimes it comes out in relationship.
So tell us about the Choose Different Ministries that
Sure.
that you are now
Heading up here.
heading
Yes,
up, starting,
yes.
running, whatever that.
Okay, Choose Different is basically my outreach to women that struggle with guilt and shame. And it's just helping them forgive themselves. Because what does forgiveness of self look like? It's very challenging. And so I always tell my ladies, it's a choice. And every day you remind yourself, I have forgiven myself. Because it always tries to creep back in. So I mentor women one-on-one. I do a Transparent Tuesday video on Facebook, just basically sharing wisdom nuggets that I've learned along the way that I feel like God has given me. And I just pray for wisdom continually and inspiration. So he gives me the messages, and I just throw them out there every week. And then also my book is basically teaching everyone how I fell into that sin. How this little girl that had the perfect background, virgin when I got married to my first husband, how in the world did I get to this place? And so I really wanted to expose how Satan tricked me into this place. And I wanted to expose, unfortunately, how some of our churches are not equipped to handle when the woman steps out. And so I separate the sin from the person. So it's like Jesus did, he hates the sin, loves the person. So hate the sin, love the sinner. And so I'm working currently on a program. It's a 90-day 911. So just like if I were to have cardiac arrest, I call 911. They know exactly what to do with me. They have a cardiac arrest team. They're going to deploy the people that know how to deal with that situation. That's my vision for 90-day 911 that God has showed me. For the churches that want to take part, it's going to be a step-by-step plan to how to handle a 911 when adultery comes up in the church for the woman or for the man. And then you can apply that, Ginny, 90-day 911 when someone says, hey, I'm an alcoholic, or hey, I'm addicted to porn, whatever it might be. You deploy people in the church that have compassion and empathy around that sin. And it makes a hedge of protection. Not that these people out here don't love God, but sometimes when we don't understand a sin, we can become judgmental. Judgmental. We don't mean to, but the looks that we give, it was very interesting to me. Not many people look me in the eye. After they knew what I did.
So that 90-day 911 is such a great concept of people coming around and people supporting, and especially for those who are repentant of what they've done. Not that we want to encourage people to continue the sin, but we want to come around them as they repent and want to turn their life around.
So definitely.
I think there was a song that you had wanted to share some of those lyrics, because this was a part of your healing journey, even in itself. Tell us
I
about
love
that.
music. I love music. And I had never listened to Christian music. And my journey to healing was 7 years. It took, I wish I could say that I said, oh, God, I'm in a fair, and, I was done and repented. It was a process, a long process. So what happened with this, my daughter was given a CD by her father's friend at some church. And she kept wanting to listen to this CD. She was probably 6 or 7 at the time. And this was by Britt Nicole. I had never heard of her before. She's a Christian artist. And the name of the song was Still That Girl. So some of the lyrics go, dreams they come, plans they change, yeah, we're going to break, yeah, we're going to break. Things we face make us who we are, baby, you're a star shining in the dark. Then this really got me. Let's go back to the summer when we dreamed in love, let's go back again. So I used to work at a camp called Camp Shiloh in New York. It's a phenomenal Christian camp for inner city children. I never felt so close to God as I did at that camp, just knowing I was walking in my purpose. So when she said that, I was like, oh, I remember that. then she says, let's go back again. Yeah, back again, my friend, to the summer when I'm holding a picture from 7 years back, and it was weird, 7 years. I smile at the memory. It's smiling right back at me, and I see brown hair. My hair's really brown. I color it. Confession. Chocolate. And bright eyes, such a beautiful blue. A heart full of laughter, nothing to lose. That's how I remember you. And I was like, oh, I remember me then. Oh, I loved her. I was proud of her. You were young, you were free, and you dared to believe you could be the girl who could change the world. And being raised in the church and doing things all the right way, I just knew I was going to change the world. I'm going to go out, I love God, we're going to change the world. Then your life took a turn, and you fell, and it hurt. And then I started crying. And then she was like, but you're still that girl, and you're going to change this world. You're still that girl. And she repeats it over and over. And I found myself, it was number 11 on the CD, just listening to it over and over and louder and louder. And I was just trying to internally pump myself up. And that verse that you shared about holding, it's hard to hold your head high in a town where everybody knows what you did.
Right.
I didn't move. My daughter still went to the preschool. I had to go in there and take, it wasn't fair to her to change schools because of what I'd done. So I let the Lord lift my chin, and I tried to look people in the eye and just keep my calm. But this helped me so much. And that's when I learned what I put in is what I'm going to get out. And I had to stop listening to the music. Ooh, baby, I need you, I want you. Ooh,
The secular.
Yes, the secular stuff that it's got a good beat. Oh, I like this song. But you're soaking all that up.
Right.
And so I teach my daughter, you got to balance it. You can listen to that, but to make it 60-40. Let's do 60% good stuff, 40% hip-hop.
Yeah, I need all percent good.
Yes.
Yeah, I need all
Yes,
percent good too.
yes. But Christian music was huge, and that's where I started. So anybody out there, if you're in that spot, that's a good place to start.
Sure.
Change your music.
Well, I was laughing because sometimes we always do an ex-victim of the week.
Oh.
And you get to be our ex-victim, and it's funny because sometimes people just see that as victim of other people. Sometimes we're the victim of our own choices.
Definitely.
Sometimes we're the victim of falling to temptation. But it's when we turn around and change that, when we repent, that we get to be an ex-victim of Satan's lies, an ex-victim of our own bad choices, an ex-victim of whatever. So today we get to celebrate this week. You are our ex-victim of the week.
Awesome. Thank you.
So proud of you, Christy Neal.
Yes.
Thank you for having
And so
me.
we have an ex-victim necklace.
That's very cool.
And it
I
matches
see
my
it.
tattoo.
Yes. Oh, I love
Instead of making you get a tattoo, we thought we'd give you a necklace.
I love tattoos, actually.
And then we also have chocolates, because as you see, chocolates and tissues
Yes.
are trademarks
Perfect.
of Bloom in the Dark because we have emotional topics and we're
Yes.
dealing with the heart issues. And so you
course.
get to
I love
have
it.
a
Thank you.
gift
It's so sweet.
as our thank you to you, and celebrating the fact that you've chosen not to stay in there anymore, because we all talk about using the fertilizer
Of our past.
whatever that is,
Awesome.
so that we can learn that we actually want to bloom today.
A free PDF copy of the Bloom in the Dark book and a full list of Bloom Today's coaching tools can be found on bloomtodaytv.com. Then visit Bloom Today's Facebook group for deeper conversation.